Hey guys, it's Dan. Welcome back to Guitar Talk. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It really helps. Roll that intro. Hey guys, welcome back. So I've been doing these videos for just over a year and I thought now maybe was the time to open the floor a bit and see if there's anything that you guys want to know my opinion on, if there's anything that you guys want to ask. Obviously I've tried loads of guitars, owned loads of guitars, reviewed loads. So if there is anything you want to ask me, feel free to let me know in the comments and I will do my best. I will hopefully do more of these videos if it takes off and you guys are interested. I will start with Mark, who over on our Facebook page asked the question, if I could only play one guitar brand and specific model for the rest of my life, what would it be? I said a while ago that if that ever happened, then for me it would be a Music Man JP15. Awesome guitar, built amazingly from great materials, feels great to play, great humbucker tones, they split into single coils really well. The piezo means you can do acoustic sounds as well. All of that stuff, it's got a volume boost on there. It's just kind of a dual absolute tool of a guitar. So that used to be what I said, but more recently, the more I have played PRS guitars, specifically the USA core models, I honestly think they are some of the best guitars in the world today. So if you ask me today what would be the brand and model that I would play if I had to pick one for the rest of my life, it would be a PRS USA core model, the Custom 24 Piezo. I don't know if they actually make them now. I might have to find a second-hand one, but that to me is just an awesome guitar with a great sound, great feel, really, really well built. And just the tone and playability to me is just something else. The reason I'd go for a Custom 24 is just because they more typically have the wide thin neck, which is what I prefer. Honestly, if I could choose and just get them to make me something, then it would be the Custom 22 Piezo with a wide thin neck. I've got a Custom 22, I absolutely love it. It's my go-to guitar. So there you go, that would be my pick. Just core, PRS, Custom 24 with the piezo. There you go. So the next question from Greg is, in my opinion, how close are modelers to real amps these days? I will start with a story where I was playing in a bar a few years ago and just standard pub cover set, and I was using a Fractal Axe FX 2 at the time. And we got to the break in the middle, and then a guy who was obviously a guitarist in the crowd came over and said, "Man, your amp sound is amazing. It's one of the best tones I've ever heard. I've got to know, what amp are you using?" And I just took him to the back and showed him it's an Axe FX 2. Awesome bit of kit, love it. And his attitude just completely changed and said, "Well, it doesn't sound like a real amp, does it? It's not the same thing." And I said to him, "You just said it was one of the best amps you've ever heard, and now you're saying it doesn't sound like an amp." Just because he knew what it was, he hated it. And you know, honestly, in this day and age, you can get amp modelers where you cannot tell the difference in sound or feel. The Fractal is the go-to to me. I absolutely love it. I've used them for a number of years now, and every now and again I buy an amp just for home use. I plug it in, I play it for 10 minutes and I go, I prefer the Fractal. Just because of the flexibility and the fact that I can get that cranked amp sound quietly. I recently bought an 18 watt, 65 watt Egnator Renegade just for home, and I thought the 18 watt mode would be quiet enough, but it was just way too loud. So I'm currently on the Fractal FM3 and I love it, and yeah, Egnator's gone, back to Fractal, love it. You just can't tell the difference these days. And Sam and Andy, who are both part of the team here, they have gone to Kemper and they love them. Obviously, there are cheaper modelers out there that may use older technology that you can tell the difference between the sound and the feel. And to be honest, with the Fractal, you can go so in depth with all the amp modeling stuff and all the parameters and things that you can change that you can make some bad sounds that don't sound like an amp. But as long as you're careful and you know what you're doing, then yeah, they're awesome. In this day and age, there are modelers where you cannot tell the difference between a modeler and an amp. There you go. So lastly, Len would like to know, in this day and age with the amp technology that is available to us, and by that I assume you mean the stuff like Fractal Audio, the Kemper stuff, Helixes, the positive grid stuff, the bias effects and all that stuff, ML SoundLab plugins, all that awesome stuff, even Boss Katana amps where they've got their own models baked into an actual real amp so you can switch between them on different channels. With all of that amp technology available, does it matter so much what the material of a guitar is, what the guitar is made from, the pickups, all that kind of stuff? Short answer to me, yes, I think it matters, and I will show you why. So if I grab my Fender Strat, this is plugged into a Fractal FM3 running a Fender Twin preset that's just like a cranked Fender Twin. In my opinion, this should sound like a Strat plugged into a Fender Twin. If amp technology these days is so good, then it should do the same job as an amp. So this should sound like a Strat plugged into a Fender Twin that's cranked. So I'll do it on the neck pickup because I'll compare it to a Les Paul, which obviously doesn't have free pickups. So just to keep it fair, neck pickup on a Strat. And then I'll plug in the Les Paul. Again on this neck pickup. Straight away to me, I can feel that a Strat, it feels like I've got a Strat plugged into a Fender Twin. The dynamics are there, the hollowness in the sound is there from the single coils, and this, it feels like I've got a Les Paul plugged into a cranked Fender Twin. Back in the day, I guess my first modeling pedal was a Zoom 707 that had amps and distortion pedals and effects and all that kind of stuff on there. And there was a preset called Van Halen, where to me, if you plugged a cheap Strat into it, a cheap Strat copy or a Les Paul, whatever, it was so colored and processed that it all kind of sounded the same. So it didn't really matter what you plugged into it. But amp technology these days has got so good that absolutely it should matter what you plug into it, because the amp sim should be doing what an amp does. So if you are plugging a Strat into a Fender Twin, a Strat into a JCM 800, a Strat into a Plexi, if you are playing through amp technology that is meant to mimic those sounds, then by all means it should sound like you have plugged a Strat with a rosewood neck and single coils into that sim, the same as it sounds when you plug it into the amp. Same with a Les Paul, plug it into a Plexi, plug it into a Plexi sim, it should sound like you have plugged a Les Paul into that. And in my opinion, it does. On good amp sims, it does. I am aware there are more sims coming out now where they are starting to model guitars, so you can plug a Strat into something and say, I want it to sound like it's got humbuckers and it's a Les Paul, and it processes the signal. If they manage to nail that technology, then no, it won't matter what you play. But in terms of amp technology, yes, it should and does to me absolutely matter. So there we go. that is my first Q&A session. If you've got anything that you want to ask me, then by all means let me know in the comments and I will do my best. If this takes off, if there's enough want for it, I will do more and I will make it a regular thing. Other than that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It all really helps the channel grow, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.